It's about time with Rashawn's About Time Boxing, aka Mr. Trill 100 Mil. What's up to my About Time Boxing family and my Trill 100 Mil gang? Salute. Thank you to everybody that has subscribed to the channel and to everyone that has been taking out the time to watch the videos and leave the comments. I got the best audience on YouTube, man. I do. Like I said, it ain't about the numbers, you know what I mean? Being number one, like I said, is a state of mind, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all for rocking with me, and I rock with y'all just the same, you know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all, each and every one of y'all. This Devin Haney and Gary Russell and Javante Davis, Leo Santa Cruz. I watched the video, and somebody was, basically saying that, Devin Haney is running from, like, these fighters, like Javante is running from Gary Russell, Devin Haney is running from Gary Russell, Leo Santa Cruz is running from Gary Russell. I don't see none of these guys running from him. Okay, he fighting Tomoki Kameda February 27th, but he probably could have fought one of them. He definitely could have had the fight with Devin Haney. And his manager or whoever this Batman guy is, like, this guy just tell more lies than another. You know what I mean? He was on Boxing Hood, you know what I mean? Shout out to Aki TV, and he said that Al Heyman wasn't interested in the fight. But then in another interview, he said that he didn't say that. And I saw the video where he clearly said Al Heyman wasn't interested in the fight. And then he tried to switch it up and say that DAZN and Matchroom wasn't picking up the fight. Said they wasn't picking up the fight. And that wasn't true. I saw the interview with DAZN and Matchroom said that they would back the fight with Devin Haney and Gary Russell Jr. But they also said they wasn't going to wait on Gary Russell. And they sent the term sheet. Gary Russell asked for the $1.5 million. Listen, it says Devin Haney and Gary Russell Jr. shall engage in a boxing contest. The details are set forth below on a date and a site designated by Devin Haney Promotions LLC, DHP, no later than May 1st, 2021. They said the maximum weight for Haney and Russell shall be 135 pounds. The bout shall be scheduled for 12 rounds for the WBC Lightweight Championship. This term sheet and the commitments made by Devin Haney Promotions are contingent upon the written approval of the bout and terms set forth in this term sheet by the WBC, DAZN, and Matchroom Boxing USA. That tells you right there that they are on board. And they said that DAZN and Matchroom wouldn't back the fight. Then it also says Russell warrants, okay, because whatever excuses that Batman and they were coming up with about why the fight wasn't gonna happen, why the fight didn't get made, because he could have fought Devin Haney November 7th when he fought Gamboa, but the contract was still. Now let's just listen to this. Gary Russell Jr. warrants that Russell is a free agent and has no binding agreement with any promoter, advisor, or other party that would prevent Russell from agreeing to the terms hereof and performing in the bout. At the conclusion of the bout, Devin Haney Promotions shall cause Russell to be paid a sum total of $1,500,000. less any required deductions, including but not limited to the WBC sanctioning fees. Said payment shall be made to Russell no less or no later than 3 business days after completion and conclusion of the bout. And anybody know when you want to fight for a belt, you have to pay sanctioning fees. Just because you rank number 1 or you in line to fight for the title and all that, some people don't get the title shots because some people don't want to pay sanctions. Some fighters don't want to pay the sanctioning fees. But there are sanctioning fees if you want to fight for a title. So that tells you right there. That tells you everything that you need to know. That Devin Haney, DHP, Bill Haney, Matchroom Boxing, DAZN, they wanted that fight with Gary Russell. And there's plenty of video out there where Gary Russell said, oh, send the 1.5 shawty, I'm going to beat your ass. It's right there in that term sheet. So why wasn't the contract signed? So that nullifies the whatever conclusion the people was coming up with that Devin Haney is running. Devin Haney not running. He said he wanted fighting. See, for Devin Haney, it's not about the money. He already said it. He said, I want to prove that I am the best. I want to prove that I'm the best. And if you fight the best and prove that you're the best, then the money is going to come anyway. Ask Floyd. First half of his career, when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, nobody thought he was worth fighting. Till after he beat Oscar. Then everybody wanted to fight him. And then when he wouldn't fight them, now all of a sudden Floyd running and he ducking and all that kind of stuff. But when he was trying to fight all those guys who didn't want to fight him before, oh, he wasn't worth it. But now that he became the king, the cash king, now everybody want to fight him. Now, you know what I mean? Because everybody was chasing Oscar at that time. But after he bought himself out of his contract, Floyd bought himself out of his contract with Bob Arum for $750,000, then he took control of his own career, promoted himself the way he wanted to be promoted, got the fights that he wanted to get, and everything was uphill for Floyd after that. And Floyd even said it. Well, if the top guys don't want to fight, I'm going to fight the guys underneath them. And if they don't want to fight, I'm going to fight the guys underneath them. So for everybody that's saying Devin Haney ain't fought nobody, listen, y'all can make the same argument about Gary Russell. And y'all can make the same argument because he lost to a Lomachenko, a 1-1-1 Lomachenko, when he was 24-0 with 14 knockouts. Okay, so, I mean, listen, and that 1.5 was probably more money that he made, in that he would have made in that fight than he made in all his other fights. He didn't get that kind of money against Jojo Diaz, and he's not going to get that kind of money against Tomoki Kameda February 27th. And I think that, what Floyd and them is doing with Tank, I don't think they hiding Tank from nobody. But Gary Russell seemed to think so. I would love to see that fight. I would love to see that fight with Tank and Gary Russell. I would love to see it. And somebody did a video saying that Gervonta Davis is taking the Floyd Mayweather route. Now, what is that? Investing in yourself? Proving that you worth the big gates? Proving that your skill is second to none? Because that's what Floyd set out to do. As soon as he was able to take control of his own career, you see what happened. That's smart. And he's saying, oh, well, Floyd wasn't picking who he wanted to fight on the first half of his career. Floyd was calling out a lot of dudes back then. He was calling out Oscar and Shane and Winky and all them guys back then. And none of them guys wanted to fight him. And they didn't think he was worth it. So maybe Floyd and them feel like that Gary Russell is not worth fighting Gervonta Davis. It'll probably, especially with the COVID thing and all that, but would it sell out in a pay-per-view fight? I don't think so. Would it sell out in the DC Baltimore area if they fought down there? Yeah. Probably would, because they from there. So, they gonna support their people. But to say that Tank is running from him, I don't think so. I don't think he's running. And Leo Santa Cruz said that after his fight with Tank, he said he wanted to fight Gary Russell Jr. And even though Leo Santa Cruz lost that fight, see, I think that's why Gary Russell wanted to fight Leo Santa Cruz so bad, because he wanted to make that same statement that Gervonta Davis made by knocking out Leo Santa Cruz. But to be honest, I don't think that Gary Russell would have knocked out Leo Santa Cruz. I think the fight would have went 12 rounds. Gervonta Davis has devastating one-punch knockout power. I'm not saying that Gary Russell don't have power, but I don't think that he has like that devastating one punch knockout power. He got that devastating combinating knockout power. He could put a combination together and hurt you and put you out. But that I don't, and again, I don't want nobody to think that I'm trying to discredit Gary Russell, and I'm not trying to do that. He's the champion for a reason. Okay? So you can't take nothing away from nobody who's a champion. Nothing. And I think he is one of the most skilled fighters that's in the game today. Absolutely he is. But to say that people is running from him, no. And he's saying that, oh, well, these other fighters need matchmakers and I don't need no matchmaker. Listen, every fighter needs matchmakers. How do you think they determine who your mandatory is? Somebody thought that you and Tomoki Kameda would be a good fight February 27th. That's why you're fighting him. Somebody thought that you and Jojo Diaz would be a good fight. That's why you fought him. When you fought Lomachenko, that was a matchmaker who thought that would have been a good fight for you because Loma was 1-1-1 and you was 24-0 with 14 knockouts, but you still lost that fight. Matchmakers make the fights. That's what they get paid to do. Every promotional company has matchmakers. And the matchmakers and the powers that be, so-called, they watch what you do, they watch your record, and that's how they determine the fighters who become number one and who's your mandatory. And this is how the people get ranked. So matchmakers play a part in all fighters' careers. So don't say that matchmakers, you don't need a matchmaker. Who decided that it would be a good fight for you to fight Tomoki Kameda? Now, if you get upset about Tomoki Kameda, your stock is going to go down. And then Tank and everybody else is going to come out and say, see? And the only thing they're going to say is, see how he's 33 or 32 years old and the window is closing on him. So he trying to call out everybody that's making waves, everybody with a name now, so he can try to, get some money fights. Tank got what, 1.2 or 1.5 when he fought in the pay-per-view fight against Leo Santa Cruz? You didn't get that in your last fight or the fight before that or against Jojo Diaz. You would have got it fighting Devin Haney, but you said, first you said send the 1.5 and you'll beat his ass. And y'all just heard me earlier read it in the term sheet. The 1.5 was in there. Then after that, he said, oh, send another point, put another 0.5 on it. You said 1.5. You said send the 1.5 and I'm going to beat your ass. And they put it in the term sheet. And y'all heard what I just read. That's from the actual term sheet. But it was never agreed upon. He never signed it because he started asking for more money. So which means maybe you really didn't want that fight. I don't know. But what's next for Gary Russell, man? Drop me some comments at the bottom. Subscribe to the channel. Leave me some comments, man. Smash that like button. Shout out to Blue Blood Boxing TV and Aki TV, Blue Blood Sports TV, and Aki TV and Showboat TV. And the biggest shout to my About Time Boxing family and my true 100 mil gang. Let me know what y'all think about this whole Gary Russell, Leo Santa Cruz, Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney. What y'all think about all this stuff? Because I don't think, and the thing is, like, if y'all heard what I read in the that was on the actual term sheet, it still said, you know what I mean, that on the date and a site designated by Devin Haney Promotions, not later than May 1st, 2021. So Maybe that date can be changed to maybe June or July after you fight Kameda. Maybe you can come to an agreement to fight. I think after Kameda he may get the Santa Cruz fight. I think. He's fighting once a year. He feel comfortable doing that. That's his prerogative. He could do whatever he want. But you can't get mad when people start questioning why you fighting once a year. Because people could easily say you fighting once a year because he don't want to fight the other guys. He don't want to fight Burchett or Shakur Stevenson or Tevin Farmer, or Devin Haney, you know what I mean, or Leo Santa Cruz, or and all these other people that he calling out. People can easily make the argument and say that. So, I mean, again, listen, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop me some comments at the bottom. Let me know what y'all think, man. Do Devin Haney really want these fights? Or is he just trying to, get what he can get because the window was closing because he's getting up there in age? What do y'all think? Let me know.